just flip it. Like, that's my only point. Like, just, it's not fair. The onus of proof is on the other person. That's not what I meant.
Just joking.
Quoting Hawking isn't a valuable piece of evidence.
No, that's not in any definition at all. I don't know where you're getting this.
I think
you're inserting a word that's not part of any definition of the word.
I think it's implicit in the usage of it.
We're the Existence Project, and we try to have respectful, loving conversations.
Roger Penrose in 1979, one of the world's most famous mathematicians of our era, calculated the odds of our observed universe occurring by accident to be less than one, just the occurrence of the universe, not all the coincidences that took place after, 10 raised to the power of 10 raised to the power of 30. So from a mathematical point of view even, it is zero, the percentage or probability of just the universe coming into existence by chance.
That whole arising is very easily explainable by entropy and by equilibrium.
Okay, please explain it.
What do you mean? It's just the science of it. Like, we can generate...
You said it's very easily explainable. I'll wait.
Let me rephrase. It's explainable via entropy and energetics.
How does entropy explain the natural communicative nature of DNA?
Well, one, on the side of it being successfully communicative, because I think there's a distinction there, because like everything's communicative. If I sat down and pieced through every single one of these pebbles, there's communication and information.
I agree. I agree.
So then your point is more about a successful system of communication. Yeah. And first I propose that, one, it's not infallible as a system of communication. We have errors and mistakes in it.
I agree. I fully agree. That's the difference between the creator, who should be perfect, and the creation, who's imperfect. Isn't that what religious people say?
That's why I'm saying it's not worth... Well,
okay, you can take your time. So I really appreciate your time, man. At the end of the day, we disagree. We walk away. We have a better understanding, hopefully, of one another. I learned something from you, hopefully. This is all it is. It's not a fight. I just want
No. My whole point about evolution, equilibrium, all of those things, is that you said how did these things come about? Like, organic proteins and organic things very easily can be generated by just throwing energy into a system, which is what early Earth looked like.
And somebody or something needs to throw energy into the system, right?
Hold up.
And that system, the word system, necessitates a rational means, and it means there's an organization and a structure. You can't have a system unless there's organization.
That's not what a system defines as just a thing we're looking at. That's not necessarily...
I've never heard of a definition of system of a thing worth looking at.
No, a thing that we are looking at. Like, it's a process... That's a physics term in the same way that you have in the system and out of the system, and the energy of a system doesn't change. Okay?
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay. So the system that we look at, say we look at early Earth, there is already energy there, and energy is inherently, because it's trying to spread out, because it's trying to go to zero, will clump up and it will spread back out and clump back up and spread back out, and that process allows for complex molecules to form. We've already shown that. And from those complex molecules, it's completely reasonable that some complex molecules will propagate themselves, because that is the other molecules that aren't propagating themselves will fall apart.
Because our universe is tuned for them to do so.
We have no evidence of that. Like, quoting Hawking isn't a valuable piece of evidence, and I'm not going to take Einstein's point on this because he is a theist.
It's very debated. I mean, I've seen atheists, they fight tooth and nail to try to say he was an atheist, and believers as well.
I don't want to say that. I don't agree. I think he pretty clearly was. He had a complex early life. Doesn't matter. What we're boiling down to, and we keep coming back to, is whether numbers are due to a... So far, we've gone... Trying to order this.
It takes intelligence to order things. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Given enough time.
You're really poking fun at me now.
No, it's all love. Yeah. It's all love. You know why it's worded like this, right? So that people like you who know their stuff say, "Hey, you're wrong."
Or just flip it. Like, that's my only point. Like, it's not fair. The onus of proof is on the other person. That's not what I meant.
Just joking. I'm just kidding, bro.
Throughout history, throughout time, and throughout looking at things, we always end up saying, "Oh, this thing is spontaneous," and then we look a little closer and we realize, "Oh no, this thing, it wasn't random. There's a evidence for this other cause that we just hadn't observed yet, right? So we could bring that up with electrons, we could bring that up with protons, we could, like we didn't know the electron existed, and we just were like, oh, what's current? And then we found the electron. So we come down to the spot of, you're saying, oh, this thing is spontaneous and came from someone, okay?
Sorry,
Right.
what do you mean by that?
That thing being all the numbers, the unit that we talk about that built up the universe, right?
Not the numbers that
Like the
sorry.
concepts, the relationships, all of that,
Yeah,
right?
the fundamental constants
that's what I'm
lining
saying.
up
Yes.
and
Okay.
fine-tuning
You're-
what we call.
Yes, I got you. What is more rational is to say, hey, historically, anything that seemed like it's magically coming to exist with enough interrogation has shown to have a reasonable thing related to it. We tend to find some reasonable thing that is generating that, and that isn't by some direct intentional creator. And why can't that be okay? Why can't that just be, we don't need to have a creator, it is just built up, like just observation is shown there.
I guess the main reason is that, number one, Islam champions science. I'll do 30 seconds just since you asked the question. Islam champions science because explaining the constituents of every single aspect of that trash can and the physics and the drawings and everything does not take away the need to...
Why does it generate a need?
Sorry?
Well, you said it doesn't take away a need, but why is there a need in the first place?
What I mean to say is, it does not take away the reality that there is a designer behind it that put these pieces together. Anybody who hears me say that there's a person who designed that trash can and put it together, and they hear a person say, no, it is more probable that it just came about because of the natural processes of the universe, will know that it is so improbable for that to have happened, not impossible, that it is ridiculous to take that side, and it is way more sensible that when you see design and you see a specific function and you have observed that everything that has design and function within our rational sapiens has to have a designer behind it, that postulation makes infinitely more sense. We're saying the same about the universe. Everything has utility in the universe.
That's a very selfish perspective about the universe. Like that I can control and manipulate anything in the universe. Like why can't this thing just
utility?
exist?
The definition of the word utility is that it
has a
can be
use to me.
used. No.
Yes, it does.
You please let me open up. If you want a dictionary, you will never see the word "me" in a single definition of the word
But
utility.
it's implicit in the usage of utility. When I say that thing is useful, it implies that it could be useful for me.
No,
yes,
that's
or-
not in any definition at all. I don't know where you're getting this.
I think
You're
it's
inserting a
implicit.
word that's not part of any definition of the word.
I think it's implicit in the usage of it.
You're talking about proof. There's no evidence for that. Utility is a word within itself that describes the phenomenon of something being useful in any given context. It doesn't have to be useful to me. I'm trying to follow.
But like
So
You said
we can go
useful
back
in a
to,
given
you
context,
wanted to
like-
counter
like-
the example of my trash can with the cement, so you can go back.
okay,
to
let's
that
come
if
back
you'd
to
like.
that. I
Or you can.
I do want to talk about the art.
Okay.
Why couldn't the known universe be, or the unknown universe, whatever you want to do, this myriad of rocks that aren't useful, like each individual rock on
Because
the
it isn't. Because it isn't.
It isn't useful.
No. You said why couldn't the universe be a myriad of rocks that are not useful?
Yes, but
And I said it isn't.
So hold up, I'm not done, because you brought up the fact that like, oh, this thing is seemingly designed, right?
Yes.
This rock right here seemingly looks like a shark's tooth, which would imply it's designed, right?
Yeah,
But it's
okay.
not. And so my point about this is like, oh, I'm pointing out this thing that seems seemingly designed in this infinite mass of undesignedness.
Okay.
And that's
But I'm saying every particle of the universe screams
of
that
the
it is
entire
designed.
unknown universe?
No, whatever we have observed of the universe points to a
Cool,
design.
But like that screams evolution, that screams something was formed and shaped.
Muslim scholars were mocked by Christian scholars for believing that everything followed a gradual process of evolution. Western universities conveniently forget that Ibn al-Haytham and al-Khwarizmi, the entire Islamic scientific golden age preceded the European Enlightenment by hundreds of years because of Islam's endorsements for the acquisition of scientific understanding. Explaining the scientific nature and the scientific processes does not in any way take away the onus and the responsibility of explaining the creativity behind the creative forces and the design behind the design, and a person with, as you really articulated very well, an intentionality behind function. Islam wants us to continue to search deep into the recesses of the universe, because it will consistently demonstrate, the Holy Quran says, you will always find one consistent ethic, one stream of seamless law, of intellect, of functionality and design that is consistent throughout the universe, that will point to one cosmic creator. Whether it's science or philosophy or religion or personal experience, which we started with, this should all point, if God exists, it should all point toward a creator. I fully agree with you. I just want to say at the end here, I fully agree with you that just studying science, the scientific phenomena of the universe, does not furnish evidence for God. I completely agree with you. But Islam says that when a person seriously investigates and takes time to talk to God, that, oh God, if you're there, you have to tell me. That way we are absolved of this responsibility. This is what I'm getting at. That not everyone is as... What is your major, by the way?
Chemistry.
Well, not everyone is as articulate, as, as rational as yourself. Thousands of people, millions, billions have lived before us. Very simple people. They're simple people like me who are not chemistry majors. Islam proposes, look, there's enough in the universe to make us think, is there a creative force here? And to sincerely investigate that in an unbiased way. That's all we're doing. We both want the truth. That's our, common... So I appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
Well, have a good
I hope I
day.
didn't say anything hurtful.
No, I'm not.
Have a great, wonderful rest of the day.
Oh, I will say, like when growing up as a kid learning history,
Yeah.
one of my, just because you brought up, I want to give a comment to like golden age of science with Islam. One of the things I would change if I had a time machine was the sack of Baghdad. Like, as a kid, I actually was like heartbroken, like learning that history.
That's very kind of you to have that empathy, historical empathy.
Yeah, well, have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
man. Take care.
Palestine.
Sorry?
I have a
Palestine. Okay.
I have a toaster, and this toaster go all over the sun, and a toaster. Yeah, I believe in it. I believe the toaster go around the sun. Do you believe that?
No,
Why? Prove to me no, it's not there.
because there's no evidence for that.
But there is no blooming evidence for that.
But there is. That's why we're having these conversations.
Because we have the tree.
No,
we have
nobody,
that
sir.
everything.
With due respect.